We're back. It's been 2 weeks because some people have responsibilities and work obligations, so they don't want to talk to me anymore. But
Or poor
we're,
scheduling. Those, two reasons: poor scheduling capabilities and too
you
many responsibilities.
you were saying you had poor scheduling today. Even I felt when I saw your note, I was like, oh, he's canceling on me. All my friends are flakes, and instead you say you're just running a little behind because what were you doing?
I had to squeeze in a run after squeezing in a nap today, and like,
I
yeah,
I was gonna call it. I was gonna say you said crash. I was like, that means he took a nap,
yeah.
and so you're hopefully hopefully your boss isn't watching. Uh, I'm afraid I always get this panic when we turn this on that I'm streaming to the other channels that I'm also a part of. It's always like a minor fear of mine, and so I'm like looking at it because I was streaming earlier
But you're
for
you're
another
gonna get
sport.
locally associated with me and your other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that'd
That's
be
a
bad
nightmare,
news.
dude. I can imagine.
So today we're gonna review or watch me prep for Ironman Arizona. That's this Sunday. I'm gonna review my bike numbers from Nice to see to kind of help gauge what I should be anticipating for Sunday's ride, and then we're gonna talk about share with us. For me, it's probably one of my most embarrassing memories, but for you, it's probably your favorite dumb mistake from training in triathlon or running, if you will. Mine happens to be running, but so
I don't know
roll
what
with
it is.
that.
So I'm excited to hear. You've built it up now, so
I want to recreate. I want to do like one of those like gray background like videos, when you look back in the past on like Law and Order or whatever,
a
and there's
noir style, yeah.
uh-huh. I think that'd be so funny for it. So yeah, that's the big tease. I don't know what you're gonna share either. You're probably gonna say you don't have any because you're perfect.
No, I make mistakes like every race. That's why I've that's why the idea came so easily to me, because I have an abundance of them.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So everybody stay tuned so you can we got some entertainment and then some practical aspects of training. As I'm known to do, I'll share my screen and pull up some items here.
So
So
I actually don't even know what we're going to be talking about with as far as bike numbers. Like, what are you looking at, and what are you trying to determine?
sure. Well, I want to know like what should be my heart rate and my power. What should be my expected sort of time when I'm coming in on the laps because Arizona's 3 laps. So what should I be looking at getting it done in an hour, 50 minutes, 40 minutes? Like what am I expecting? Because in my head, as I'm mentally preparing for the race, I'm trying to prepare myself for the eventualities. And if I'm doing really, really good, what should that look like? If I'm doing really, really bad, what should that look like? What's the middle? So that I'm not panicking during the race, like wondering, do I need to go hard? Do I need to go slow? What's going on? So I'm going to look at my watts from the last race, the temperature from the last race, and my heart rate based off of that, and then try to come up with a range of what I want to expect. Because I don't want, for example, to have a 170 heart rate putting down 160 watts. That's a bad scenario. But I'm going to look back and say, well, maybe that was what happened last time, and so it's what I expect. I don't want to be like trying to remember. Or I can't remember because I don't know. I need to refresh my recollection so I know when I'm on the race on the road, am I doing good or am I doing bad? So that's what I'm gonna be looking at.
So how do you do that? Do you like there's best bike splits, which I guess you can feed it power and some other metrics, and
I don't know what that is. You have to tell me. But what I was planning on doing was just going to my training peaks and taking a look at what I did last time.
look at all that red.
I know.
You even train?
I do not. All right, I'm embarrassed of this, but all right. So I'm only going to look at the first 120 kilometers before my crash, because I think that's the only thing that's going to be sort of relevant for us. There it is. So you can see,
Very apparent.
yeah, where it happened. So I'm just going to highlight that, and then it's going to show me. So my average power is 173, heart rate was 159. Cadence was 85, speed was low, 28.2, which is actually surprising. I felt like I was going much faster than that. And the average temperature was 25 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what that translates to.
I knew when I was in like middle school.
This is 78 degrees. I don't believe that. I hope that's true, because Arizona is supposed to be like 73 high. But let's bring it back. Just want to make sure. I don't believe that I think that temperature was incorrect. All right, so that was kind of a good idea. I forgot it already. Was it 178 and 159? That says 190. That's my normalized power. Yeah, 172, 159. So if I'm doing around 180 and a one power of 160, I'm going to feel really happy. The reason this is important for me is the last 2 weeks, my power has been really good, but it's on the trainer. And so I'm wondering, is that because the temperature has decreased, or is my power meter wrong? Like, what's going on to make that so much better? So like, what was this, 5.5 hours, 178 watts. So better than what I did in the race, with an average heart rate of 138. So way lower. Why is that? Is that because my power was like, is it generous or what? And then this past weekend, I was holding 200 watts for 3 hours, which is roughly, it's like 2.5 watts per kilo and 2.9 watts per kilo. So almost 3 watts per kilo for 3 hours. So what I don't want to happen is I ride in to the race, going up the hill, thinking, oh, I can hold 210 watts for 10 minutes because I did that the last 2 weekends. Even though my heart rate's at 160, I think in this case, probably that's a bad idea. I should keep it probably around 190 and keep my heart rate around 150 or 160 if I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a ton of advice because I've only done the 70.3s, and so I've kind of always looked at it for a 56-mile bike. So doubling that to a 112 is out of my experience range. But do you usually work off FTP at all for that? Like,
yeah, that's why I said that the 220. That's my FTP, and I guess my lactate threshold. And so coach was saying keep high zone 2. And I was going to blow that off. Like, whatever. What do you know? I'm gonna hold zone 4. But again, because like I was holding 200 as high zone 3, if not zone 4, and I held that for 3 hours the other day, and my heart rate was relatively low. So when I posed that to him, he said, "No, go by your heart rate on long races, not by your power." So, which contradicts what I told Brad in our last video. You absolutely need a power meter, and you were saying, no, go by heart rate. So,
well, maybe listen to me a little more often then, huh? No, it's interesting because I wonder about race day, and you have all these external factors that you don't have during training days,
right?
And that amount of stress, both mentally and then physiologically, I think does quite impact what your output is going to be. And when your output is purely power, you can't replicate those external factors in training. Right. So it's hard to get a better gauge of it versus heart rate. Like,
yeah,
a little bit better when your heart is going to explode. So it's a little easier to work off of, but that's all I've done. So that's all I know.
Well, are you saying that it's good to train off of power and race off of heart rate? Or are you saying just heart rate, period?
people smarter than me train off power, so I trust that it's
Okay.
wise to train off power.
Okay.
But racing off heart rate has always been, it always made sense to me. But again, people smarter than me are racing on power.
Well,
so
what he said was because you don't want to start eating into your glycerin, glucose stores, and if your heart rate gets so high that it starts doing that.
Right.
So that kind of helped me. And I was also like, I'm thinking about it for the first time ever, like when I play poker, like, when you're doing a 10-hour session, you have to be super smart. You can't win every hand. You're not going to go all in on every hand. You're not going to win the tournament on every hand. You play smart, small increments. You don't push it. And that analogy may work for no one but me, but that does help to think like, okay, I know I feel like I can do a lot more, but I need to trust that I have to stay. I can't force a hand. I can't force the race and try to keep it under.
Yeah. I can't remember who I was listening to, but the idea of like digging deep, like you don't really want to dig deep in an Ironman in the sense of like, you don't want to be pushing like as much as you can. Like that's not the point of the day.
Yeah. For short races, then I think power and digging deep makes sense. If you're doing a sprint or an Olympic, you can destroy your stores of energy because you have enough to get you through an hour and a half of exercise. Even if you didn't eat the whole time, you'd be fine. But the other curious thing, why
we're going to come back to that as one of my mistakes because that was
okay.
fun.
All right. Well, what are the other things why I was looking at the numbers is I don't know, like in Zwift, you're always going to be fast. It's like everybody goes 20 miles per hour on Zwift. There's no way like to go faster or slower, it feels like. But on full gas, it does fluctuate, I think, pretty realistically. And I was able to hold 20 miles per hour for 5.5 hours on the Arizona course the other day. And I find that I'm usually faster on the race than I am then. So I was surprised that I was actually approaching a decent mile per hour rate. And I'm like, well, should that mean then I would expect 35 kilometers per hour instead of 32? What should I be doing going on the downhill? Because Arizona, they say is flat, but they're liars. It actually is like like a 2 to 4% incline for most of it, and then down. So you're going up and you're going down. So you go fast down, but going up, like, should I be pushing myself, relaxed? Should I be going? Is it okay if I'm going 28 kilometers per hour because I'm going to make up going 40 kilometers per hour on the back end? Like, those are the things I'm analyzing in my brain to prepare for the race.
Those are things I don't think about at all.
Okay.
So coming back to I just look at the heart rate and the speed is going to be what it is.
It is what it is, and I'm done for the day.
Well, for me, I don't know enough to be able to figure out the speed, right? Like
it's on your computer, isn't it?
Huh?
It's on your bike computer, isn't it?
Well, I mean to say that like based on the course, right? Mm-hmm. So I raced Milkman and the course was super rolling. I thought it was going to be a speedy course, but I'm dumb. It was not a speedy course, and everyone but me on the race course knew that. So like the speed just was what it was, and I wasn't gonna be able to change that. So being able to watch heart rate for me was kind of the only thing for me to do. But apparently, so I learned this in one of the Evolve coaching sessions, and we were doing bike course reviews, and our coach Chris was showing us bestbikesplits.com. And with that, you can plug in power, you can plug in speed, it'll take in a course profile, and it'll essentially give you the estimated speed output. And what's interesting is he compared I thought it was Arizona, but maybe it wasn't. Arizona versus something else. And one was very rolling, and then one was like a slow incline and then to a big decline. And the question was, which one is going to be faster? I forgot which one was faster. I was wrong. I knew which one I thought was right was wrong. But apparently this is useful to do.
Exactly. Is this it? I never even heard of it. Am I in the right spot?
This is the one.
It looks like I have to pay for it. Is that true?
You do. That's why I haven't used it yet. So.
Huh.
But you can try it for free, apparently. So.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Well, let's see what happens.
looking at the tool, it was pretty cool. I'm curious to see if it does it for gravel, because that seems like a much more complicated
I have to
process.
go to. I'm not gonna show everyone what's in my Gmail. That's bike split. Member activate. Ugh, this is gonna take forever. All right, if this takes much longer, I'm gonna abandon ship. Okay, I don't want to create this. Now what do I do? Walk me through this. I'm impatient.
I haven't used it yet. I don't know.
Well, I thought you said you watched it with what's his face, Chris.
Yeah, I watched him use it.
This is not what I want.
Well, so I think at this stage you've already plugged in a course profile and gave it some of the attributes. So yeah, changing your power, weight, and it's already applying it towards some sort of demo course profile. And so that's how it's you
Hawaii. Let's see a coefficient of rolling resistance. I don't know what the heck that is. Man, I'm gonna have to go fast. This is even for Hawaii, but at 22 miles per hour, you only get it done in 5 hours. I'm probably not gonna break 5 hours, it seems then. Where do I put in my where do I put in this stuff? I don't even see where I do that. My courses.
No idea.
Okay, so I do have to do crap. All right, never mind. Thanks a lot for wasting 90 seconds of our lives, Zach. You're welcome.
Never.
Just you got to get your run in though. I'm supposed to have a easy, enjoyable run today, and now the sun's going down, so I'm not going to enjoy it. All right, what's your dumbest mistake?
You start.
I've already been talking forever. So you're trying to gauge what's the threshold of acceptable for dumb. All right, here it is.
Actually, okay, yeah, I remember it now. So when I first started doing endurance sports, before I knew that the word like triathlon was really a thing, I was like, I'm gonna do this 70.3 thing, whatever that is. And so this is during COVID, and I did the pool swim. I barely got the 1900 meters done in the 45 minutes that you're allowed to do it. So come a long way since then.
I would have a hard time. I mean, 40, 19, 38. I mean, at 2 minutes, 100. That's pretty tight.
7-minute difference. That's a long time gap, but I think it's something like 2:10s or something like that. I don't remember. But so what I did not learn about is that you're supposed to eat during these things, these little races we do. And so I did the bike ride. I think I ate a banana after the swim, and like I drank 0-calorie Propel during the bike ride. And then I got to like 11.5 miles into the run of mostly just like walking and stumbling along after eating a banana and like 3 dates. And I had to call Christina because I just like sat down and like my whole face was just white, like as a sheet. Like my lips, all the blood left my lips, like I was just a sheet white. And then we're driving home, and it was like in a movie where everything just like turns to white, and I just went completely blind. And I was telling Christina, she's a nurse, so I'm like, hey, just so you know, I went blind. I can't see anything. And she's like, oh, okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. And I got home, crushed a bunch of food, drank some water, laid the hell down, and eventually just everything kind of came back to normal. But that was my favorite dumb mistake, is attempting to do that with virtually not eating and training for like 4 weeks. And training is a very generous term for what was happening.
According to GTN, it can be done though.
I saw that. One thing I always think about doing those things is, James is a professional athlete who has won multiple Ironmans. And I'm like, that's a little bit of a different context, but nonetheless,
Yeah.
That's my favorite dumb thing I've done.
Mine's not too well. Mine is a lot different than that, but I think everybody has that similar like just managing nutrition is it takes like I don't think people who start out realize how frequent you do need to eat. Like on my first 70.3, I did not eat enough, and I was running and feeling like death. And then I like was like, fine, I need to eat one of my gels, and I did, and I felt so much better. And then I went like another 30 minutes without eating one. I felt like death, and I was like, this is stupid. Like, why? Like, I shouldn't have to need to eat. And then no, you do actually need to eat.
Yeah.
So, all right. I don't even know if this is a mistake. Really, mistakes imply that it would have been avoidable if you had done something differently. Is that how mistakes go? I don't know.
But
all right, well, this is the common theme for me. Maybe I already shared
rephrase
this.
it to favorite mishap.
Mishap. All right, so it's a training mishap. Does it need to be a race or a training? Doesn't matter.
We make the rules here. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I don't know if you can. I'm waiting for someone to come bursting through the door right now. I can hear him like scratching, and it's not a dog. It's a person. So we'll see if they behave. It was I was running, and it was before. Must have been it was before an event at the Botanical Garden. So it's probably like Christmas lights or something. Lights at the garden. Have you been to that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm aware of what you're talking about, but
it's like Garden Glow. I think that's what it's called. And there's also all these memes of husbands and fathers like needing like it's 10 minutes to go, and then like they're power washing the windows or cleaning. Like that's when they decide to do something, and that's kind of how it is in my family. Except it's going for a run. 10 minutes to go, I'm going on a run, and we had like 90. Whatever, I had like a 90-minute, 2-hour run or whatever before Garden Glow. And so I was running, and I was not feeling good. And I was running, and I actually, part of the course, I go around Tower Grove and then up around Botanical, up through Flora, back down, and then around Tower Grove again. So that's like 10 and a half, 11K. I usually do, that's an hour or so, 50 minutes. Do that a few times. And so I got around Botanical Garden, my stomach started cramping up hardcore. Hasn't done that before. I've had like stitches, but this was in my belly, cramps. Can I even move? And it was clear I needed to take a big dump. So as I'm like the farthest point on the course from my house. And then I was all right. So we got to find a bathroom somewhere. And Tower Grove used to be, now it's a lot better. They have porta potties around, but it was really difficult to find a bathroom. But there is one like permanent. There's two, but the one that was closest is by the gardens. And so I was like, all right, it's by the tennis courts. I'm gonna go there, get there, poop and go home, and call it a day. And so but when I'm going, like my eyes are watering, my stomach's clenching up. Every step I'm like, should I run or should I walk? Like running feels like it's going to push it out, but walking means I'm going to have to hold it longer. I don't know. Like every moment I'm afraid that it's just going to be released without my consent.
That's some real life math right there.
And so I'm going, and then I take the shortcut. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it. And there's like some trees and some bushes before 50 feet from the toilet. I'm like, okay, I should stop and go there. I should stop and go there. I'm like, no, I can make it. I can make it. I can be a civilized person and use a toilet like it's the 20th century. And I hold it, and I get to the bathroom door, and it's like you're pulling your pants down already, and the door is locked because it's off season. And I just turned around, squatted, and shot it out as quickly as I could, as embarrassed as I could.
Like on the door.
Pants up, ran home.
It's what's surprising is like this is not the first time I've heard this kind of story. Like apparently everyone has
really
themselves during the runs.
Okay.
Everyone has the runs during the runs.
What's the It's like runner's stomach or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, last time we talked, you said you bring a plastic trash bag to your races, and I said, well, it's because you have to poop in the parking lot because so like it's a pretty integral part of my life. And
Evidently.
the studies show that if you poop before the race, you perform better. So there's
Who
your
made that
public
study? Why is that excuse?
triathlete.com.
It doesn't seem to necessitate a study.
Oh, anecdotally, you believe it's true. Okay. Pooping before.
Yeah, surprisingly, if you take care of your pooping problems before a race, it works out better. I have not had that problem yet. I'm still gloating over that fact.
Want to be number one? Try going number two. Can't make this up.
That is a wonderful headline image too. And it's from triathlete.com, so
yeah,
a trustworthy resource.
Yeah. That's what that said. Did you see Tribike Transport?
I was gonna say that. I just said they were good. I guess don't do that anymore.
You can't. Not only don't, but you can't. I don't think they're accepting. Well, are they taking new orders right now?
So the problem is international. They didn't pay an international shipping company, so the non-stateside shipments are the ones that are getting messed with.
Okay.
They're still running in the States, but
I thought the folks coming back from Hawaii haven't gotten their bikes either.
Oh, they're fine.
All right.
Sure. It might, yeah. The slow twitch rumors are that it's really just affecting international shipments, and regardless, they're probably gonna have some problems by the end of 2023. So I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, which sucks because it was a great service while it lasted.
Yeah. Well, I got my bike bag on Monday or so I'm ready to stick it in. And I was talking about getting my new bicycle, and my wife's like, "You just spent $500 on a bike bag." I was like, "Well, yeah, I need a nice bag for a nice bike. You gotta."
That's funny. And I'm over here I'm slightly contemplating selling my tri bike. It keeps coming up in my head.
Well, it's because you like your faux bike. Well, I don't even remember what the heck you called it.
I forget. I don't know. It wasn't that good of a term.
You forgot about it, so it doesn't matter. Well,
I love that bike.
Sell it to Brad. I'll tell Brad that you're thinking about selling it, and
I'm very much on the fence, so it's gonna have to be a reasonable offer. I was gonna race an Ironman this year, but I don't think I'll have the.
You get any wheels? Does it come with wheels? Where are those?
Reynolds Aero 80s. So I'm still digesting it. I think I'm gonna do some gravel triathlons and just focus on that and trail running.
You seem to express your love of gravel often.
I haven't done enough to really proudly say I like gravel, but the gravel races I've done have been some of my favorites. So
when you do is it Xterra? Is that gravel and a trail?
Xterra is mountain bike. Okay. And I think that's more single tracky and more mountain bike setup. At least that's the ones I've seen. The gravel races are pure, you're out on gravel trails, dirt trails, that kind of stuff. More road than single trails. And there's not that many of them, which is a problem. But the run is on single track trails typically, or at least something along those lines. So I don't know. Training for the 100K, the trail running I've been doing is
you got me and others roped into it, I think, right? You got that. When is it again? I need to put it on my calendar.
The 14th of January, I believe.
Okay.
It's gonna be sweet.
All right, 14th of January. Perfect opportunity for more content.
There we go.
You bring your GoPro, and I'm gonna live stream from my phone for our last 20 miles.
I'll be a broken husk of a man.
Guys, what do you think that's gonna take you? 5 hours, 6 hours?
I don't know. I did the 20 miler, and I did it in 4 hours with a huge heart rate blow up. So, and now, but I was doing it only knowing I was only doing 20 miles. So
right. This 100K. Is the end of 80 already.
Yeah. So I'll already be 40 miles deep but I'll have a number of hours rest because I'm just gonna run Saturday, hang out,
Okay.
camp, chill, and then knock out the next 20 in the morning.
Okay. All right, man.
So we'll
I'm
see how
looking
it
forward
goes.
to it. It's
Yeah,
on my calendar now, so I can't get double booked.
you might want to do some strength training so you can carry me as I collapse.
Okay.
Those trails are cool, and they're blocked off throughout the year. Like you can only use them during the race. So,
I know I'm going to adjust my race schedule to accommodate this too. I was thinking about doing the snowball or the what are those two race series, snowball and something. I don't know, but I did it last year and it was fun. So, but I'm gonna miss the first one because it's the day after New Year's. It's like January 1, which is like a Monday or a Tuesday or something stupid. So I'm not gonna be available for that one. So I'm gonna miss one of the 4 races. I don't know how that would affect your overall rankings.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, man. What else?
I think is it.
Okay. All right. Great talking to you. I'll see you later. And thanks everyone else for checking us out. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you later.